So the virtual first down lines that we see in football broadcasts, that great little yellow line, is that a form of augmented reality?
It's certainly a form of augmented reality. We've been seeing it for long enough now, 14 years give or take, that it sort of recedes into the background. But the virtual yellow first and 10 line, virtual strike zones like ESPN's K-Zone or Fox Tracks, and the pointers that you'll see if you're a NASCAR fan are all forms of augmented reality.
How is the data behind those augmented reality elements collected? And is it a manual process right now?
Good question. For the most part, historically, it's been a manual process. The leagues and the broadcasters are fairly sophisticated when it comes to information systems for distributing data, but up until recently, it's mostly been a manual process to actually collect the data. There's some exceptions to that. On NASCAR, we've been collecting car position data automatically for about 10 years. About 6 years ago, we entered into a joint venture with Major League Baseball to collect pitch data for every Major League Baseball game. That's not really a complete digital record of the baseball event, but this next year we'll begin with Major League Baseball expanding the amount of data that's collected automatically at these events. You're starting to see more computer vision and instrumentation deployed as these become cheaper, more reliable, and faster.
Interesting. And does that then manifest in different types of analytics?
You'll see different sorts of analytics. You'll see different visualization or for entertainment purposes on the broadcasts. And you'll see a lot of Moneyball sort of applications in the back office of teams as well as they try to gain competitive advantage, not just for performance analysis reasons, but for having a winning season and keeping their job as the coach or the general manager.
All teams will be Moneyball teams now, right? How do you see AR evolving in sports over the next couple of years?
I think we'll see three changes in the short term, the next, say, 3 or 4 years. The first is that even more of it will become data-driven. More of the things that people are interested in seeing are either difficult to observe directly or they're derived from large sets of data. How does someone perform against a historical average, for example? We'll also see it where it becomes optional, or you get to choose what you see. People sitting at home will have the ability to turn off the glow on their hockey puck if they don't want to see that. And then the last thing that'll happen, I think, is that this sort of experience of a data overlay on video or on the world around you will come into the stadium with you. You'll be able to sit in your seats at the stadium and see a virtual yellow first and 10 line on your phone, on your eyeglasses, whatever that display is.
Last question for you, and it dovetails a little bit with that. Expanding this into just sort of the generic consumer realm, what is your take on the current state of AR? And I mean, holding up the phone,
sure,
kind of looking around. Is that where it's headed, or are we talking about something that's a bit more subtle?
So I think there's definitely consumer applications, but I'm not convinced we've found the killer app yet. I think that people will use the cell phone for some applications. You're starting to see some more interesting display devices. There's a company called Recon Instruments that makes little heads-up displays for ski goggles. It's a wonderful product, it's inobtrusive, and it's the right experience if you're a skier. A little bit further out, there's rumors of Google making eyeglass displays, and contact lens-based displays as well have started to come out of the research community. So, my gut reaction is that your cell phone is a stopgap measure until some better interfaces start coming onto the market.
Right. Well, thanks so much for being with us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.